Can't believe I'm doing this intentionally. Hello, this is Ender, and welcome to my VRcade, where today I will be providing a review of the all-new bHaptics TactVisor, which is a redesign of the bHaptics Tactal that I already own and will be doing a side-by-side comparison with. If you're unfamiliar with either of these devices and bHaptics, essentially they sell wearable devices that, with certain supported games, provide physical feedback much like your controller would for a game console that vibrates, and in this case provides the feedback on your face. Immediately I noticed that it is a softer foam built into the facial interface, and the box and transmitter device has been reshaped as well, and I think most importantly the cable redesigned, which I'll get into as well. Under the second layer, you'll find your instruction manual, which, you know, some of you might actually read, but there is a lot of good information there. And then you have an included USB-C to USB-A charging connector, and you also have these Velcro pads, so you have 4 for attaching to various headsets. Here you can see I have side by side the Tactal, the old device, and the new TactVisor. Now, you may be curious what's going on here. I run the Tactal, as many users do, without the foam insert, because without it, it molds to your face a little better, and as a result, actually feels more comfortable and closer to my face for better field of view than if I had the foam. However, you can see those 6 round dots, those are the 6 motors of the old Tactal, are then pressing against your forehead, where, you know, it's right against your skull, which is not the most comfortable thing in the world, considering those are metal. So there was always a trade-off to use the padding or not to use the padding. I'm going to put it back in, so we're doing a stock non-modified comparison of the Tactal versus the new TactVisor, which you actually cannot remove the foam for. You can also see the transmitter box, as I call it, is disconnectable on the older Tactal, but I actually find the non-disconnectable box advantageous for reasons that I'll get into. Here you can see with the foam reinstalled that those motorized bumps are still tactily felt and visible even with the foam. I'm pointing this out because you will need a facial interface with Velcro, the scratchy or hook side, to attach, well, either the old Tactal as well as this new TactVisor, which presents a problem for one particular headset, which I will be sure to cover as well. Quick note, this facial interface you will be requiring is not included or sold by bHaptics. You will have to choose an aftermarket one, such as the ones I'll be showing from VRCover. You will simply be removing the padding included with your aftermarket facial interface with the TactVisor itself. So there you saw I installed the older Tactal on a Valve Index headset, which I think is important to see because you'll note, see how the cable is wrapped around there? That put a lot of stress on it, and as a result, you can see the outer sheathing of that cable connector has split, which is a big reason I was so excited for this new model. Now you can see another area that was addressed is the foam is much more compressible or softer on the new TactVisor, and I can't actually feel the 4 versus 6 motors on this new device versus the old one, where I could feel them immediately, unfortunately. Now another concern might be, well, 4 motors versus 6 sounds weaker. Don't worry, we'll talk about that as well. For now, I'm going to focus on the fit and an application on several headsets for those of you concerned how it will fit your particular device. Here you can see I'm applying it to the index, and that cable connector is a lot shorter, but it is a lot more flexible. And I'm not worried about it splitting like it did on my tactical. And you can just stick it right on the headband strap there. It stays on there decently. Or what I do later on is attach another Velcro pad, the one you're seeing is from the tactical, and attach it on the opposite side of where that Velcro pad is. Here I am attaching the TactVisor to the F2 interface that comes with the Bobo F2 fan, which makes it a little more challenging to place, but I am able to put a little piece of Velcro on top of the Bobo later, and it sits right there just fine. Here I'm trying the HP Reverb G2 with VR cover interface with the old tactical regular size interface. They also sold a larger one. There was a little gap, but if you adjust it, it fit fine. Again, a lot of cable bend with this device. With the new TactVisor here, you can see there's less gap, so less light leakage. And again, if you play with it and move the flaps around the nose right up against the, well, nose flaps, then there's pretty much no light leakage. There's just a little bit of extra plastic on the sides, which didn't even touch my face. As for the connector box, you'll see in a moment, I just Velcro that where I would Velcro on the old tactical just fine. Now, the Quest Pro is not listed as a supported device, but I decided, have this anyways. Let's see if it's possible, and not really. If there's some way someone can do it with some very creative modifications, go for it. But I'm not going to try that. Also, there were some users on the bHaptics Discord that said they were able to attach it to a Varjo Aero and Pimax Crystal without any modifications necessary. Enough setup and talk, let's go ahead and try it out. I'm going to show you some footage from a stream I did with Pavlov earlier this week when I just got the TactVisor, and I could definitely feel it, but my streamers were confused because the overlay wasn't working. And I think this is a software bug that can be fixed and probably will be. It's not due to the overlay has to be on top of everything else bug. I eliminated that. Streamers and content creators, you'll know what I'm referring to. So while you won't see the overlay light up for the head or TactVisor, you can actually hear in a clip, if you listen carefully, the TactVisor activate when I get shot in the head. All right, 1, 2, and... Wait, where's the feedback? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hopefully you could hear that if you didn't see it on the overlay. The fact that you can hear it tells you quite a bit, I think, how much more powerful it is than the old tactical if you had that as well, like I did. I know there was a lot of gunfire going on, but I think if you turn up the volume, you can just barely make it out over the gunfire. Let me know in the comments. Can't believe I'm doing this intentionally. Of course I had to try with Life Alyx with the head crabs, but the TactVisor didn't activate, not for the overlay or for the device itself. That could be because it's a fan-made mod, or it could be something on my end, because Jamie on the bHaptic Discord, who also confirmed that the Pimax Crystal will fit the TactVisor without issue, was able to run Warhammer 40k Battle Sister and get a response from the TactVisor just fine, and that's also a fan-made mod. If you're interested in Pimax devices, be sure to check out her channel, which I'll link to below. As to the topic of how powerful is the TactVisor versus the tactical, well, even though it has 4 motors versus 6 on the old tactical, the TactVisor feels about twice as powerful, honestly, in my initial impressions. Furthermore, instead of only putting the vibration straight across on the forehead, I feel like it transmits better across even my cheekbones, across a wider area. So I think it's more powerful and more comfortable and less prone to breakage or damage from the cable being twisted. So I think it's superior in every way, except maybe if the noise bothers you, potentially that might be the only con. I hope you found this review informative, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. If you appreciated my work, please click the like button, and if you'd like to see more content from this channel, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.